Hey everybody, it's Brooke with the Buttered Home. Fall is here and it's time for one of my favorite fall treats, and that is anything that includes apples. So if you want a warm, delicious, sweet southern treat, we're going to show you how to make this beautiful, delicious apple biscuits with a cinnamon glaze. So stay tuned. So for a huge pack, we only use one medium apple. You can use Granny Smith. I'm using a Fuji apple here because it is what I had on hand. So I halve the apple and core half of it and peel it, and then the other half I just slice into thin slices with the skin on. Then we take the one with the peeling and we just grate it on a box grater. We just need about half a cup, and you don't even really have to core this, just don't grate down to the core. Then you want to take all that really nice grated apple and just make sure you get it all out of your grater and set it to the side. Now to a large mixing bowl, we're going to start adding our biscuit ingredients. This is just like my regular biscuit recipe, so it's kind of repetitious, but it's 2 cups of self-rising flour, and we don't need to add anything extra to that. We're going to add our sweet components. We're going to add in some cinnamon. We're adding in 1 teaspoon here, but we're going to need a total of 1.5 teaspoons. The other half is for the glaze. So 1 teaspoon of cinnamon in with our flour, and just a little bit of salt, maybe a half of a teaspoon for balance. Then we're going to add in 1 teaspoon of just regular granulated sugar. They're sweet biscuits, so we're adding a little bit of sweet to kind of supplement to the apple that we put in. Now, this is a controversial ingredient, but this adds warmth and enhances the flavor of the cinnamon. So we're going to be putting in just about maybe a 1/4 teaspoon of freshly ground nutmeg. And this really, I promise, you can't taste it. And if you buy the whole nutmeg like I do and grate it yourself, you won't be sorry. So I just sift those ingredients together just to get them mixed in. And then I have a half a cup of cold butter. And I'm just going to grate it in so that it's in fine pieces. See, it just kind of mounds up. Then we just fold that in with our flour mixture. We're looking for a mealy consistency. And this helps you get the butter incorporated in. I just roll around in there and kind of pinch it and make sure it's all covered with that flour mixture. And you want it to look like small peas. You'll see me rubbing it through my hands. That's just to get all of it just covered by that flour. See how it looks like small peas? Just kind of a real mealy texture. Then we add in our grated apple, and I just fold that in with my hands as well, just to get it nice and incorporated. Now in comes the buttermilk. We're going to use probably about a whole cup, but I just do it a little bit at a time and kind of eyeball it. Generally for 2 cups of flour, you're going to use 1 cup of buttermilk. But we don't want to overwork our dough, so I'm going to add in just a little at a time, just until it kind of becomes what my grandmama called a scraggly dough. And you'll see what I'm talking about here, where it's slightly wet, tacky, but it's not all kind of just really wet. So we flour our surface, and we're going to put our biscuit dough down. And it's going to look like I'm working it a lot, but I'm not. I'm touching it a lot, but I'm not kneading the dough. We're just bringing it together. And I got some real simple tips for you on this, and this works for regular biscuits too. We take that scraggly mixture and we just kind of squeeze it together in a mound, and then we flatten it out. Now I like tall flaky biscuits, so we do this tri-fold method where we fold it over itself twice, and then once again I reflour my surface, pat it down, and I do this 2 more times. So we're not kneading the dough, so that doesn't qualify as overworking the dough. Overworked dough makes a tough biscuit. This is creating layers in the biscuit. And we're going to show you a couple of extra moves that help kind of enhance those layers. So just like with a pie crust, we do 3 folds. And then we just flatten it out to the thickness that we desire. We're making big biscuits today. You can make whatever size you want. We're using about a 2.5-inch cutter. And I'm going to flour it straight down. Don't twist. And then I like to take it between my thumb and forefinger and just reinforce it. And that helps make it stand up kind of tall. It keeps it from being kind of flat. Sometimes whenever you cut them out, it tends to flatten the dough a little bit because it's sealing those edges. So we want to just kind of squeeze and turn. Now, this is where people get confused, is the discard dough. I just bring it back together, do a quick fold while I still have a lot, and then press it out so I can get 1 or 2 biscuits more from that. Shape them the same way and put them into my ungreased cast iron pan. Now we're going to do that and get 1 more big guy out, and then I'm left with just a little bit. So after we get him shaped and in our pan, then I take that what's left and I just kind of squeeze it into a small ball, shape the edges the same way, and put the little dude in there too. Now, those apple slices that we have, we're just going to put those on top of our prepared biscuits. And don't worry, they'll dry out, but they'll won't be burnt, and they'll taste really good. And that sugar from the apples just kind of drips down into the biscuits, which makes them even better. We've got our oven preheated to 425 degrees. So look how pretty. Isn't that pretty already? And they're not even baked. We're going to cook these for 20 to 25 minutes, and we'll be back. Okay, we got them out of the oven. Look how pretty they are. So I'm just going to set them to the side. They've cooled a good bit, but they're still warm. So we've got a medium-sized bowl, and we're going to make our glaze. This is really, really easy. We're first going to start with powdered sugar. We're going to use 1 whole cup of that, just right into the bowl. And I'm using the side of my container to kind of get it packed in there good. Now here comes that other 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. We're just going to mix that right in, or put it in. We'll mix it when we mix it. And now we need about a 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla. And mine is a sloppy 1/2 teaspoon. Now we're going to start adding in our 1/2 and 1/2. And I do this by the tablespoon or the teaspoon. This can take anywhere from 2 to 4 tablespoons. And I like doing it a little at a time because too much will be too much. And since we're using confectioner's sugar and cinnamon, we don't really want to add confectioner's sugar to it because it'll take away from the cinnamon ratio. So I always err on the side of caution that we do a little at a time just until it gets to the drizzle consistency that we want. Now, if you wanted to spread it on your biscuits or dip your biscuits in it, that is an option, but you see how it's still kind of thick. So at this point, I'm just putting just a tiny splash in there because a little bit goes a long way. And I want the drizzle consistency, so we're going to get that here. You'll see me, I'll pick my whisk up. And you'll see how easily it just drips, no glops. And then that will allow us to just take it and drizzle it right over the biscuit. You can do that to the whole pan or do it individually. You can glaze these all at once in the pan or on your serving platter, or you can glaze these beauties as individual servings, however you wanted. They're delicious and just heartwarming and wonderful, and we hope that you will try these beauties. That's a big bite. I can't taste the nutmeg at all. It just adds warmth. That cinnamon, little flecks of apple throughout. Fantastic. Absolutely wonderful. That glaze is perfect. You can have a little, a lot, or none at all. Whatever lights your fancy. This recipe, like all of our others, can be found at thebutteredhome.com. We hope you'll give us a visit there and check out some of our other recipes. Also, if you want all of our videos in one convenient place, head over to YouTube, search for The Buttered Home, and when you find us, hit that subscribe button and ding the bell so that you can be notified when we shoot new videos like this one. Also, make sure you're following us on all of our social channels. We have a really good time and share lots of content there. From all of us here at The Buttered Home to your home, we sure love y'all. Happy fall. Bye.